Hello vinyl community, it's Matt here again, and today we're going to be talking about the Beatles Red and Blue albums, or specifically the 2023 versions. And I did not buy these on vinyl, surprisingly. I got them on CD right here. And well, there's a couple of reasons for this. The first reason is that I actually already have a whole bunch of these on vinyl. Not that that's always stopped me, like you can see, but it did in this case. The second reason is that I thought the vinyl for these is just so outrageously priced I couldn't justify it. I mean, even on Amazon, they're $70 a piece, whereas these from Target were $27 each, something like that. But it was even better because Target had a buy two get one free Black Friday sale on. So when I went last night, I spotted something that I've been wanting to get for a little while, which is Aerosmith Ultimate Greatest Hits, which this has a little bit of a story too, actually, because I thought I'd already bought this. Looks the same, right? But it's not. This is one I got from eBay a few weeks ago, but if you look, oops, it's actually just the single disc version, whereas I had wanted the 2-disc set, which has double the tracks on it. So I haven't actually opened this one. I don't know if I don't know, it was an eBay purchase, so it's not like I can really return it. I'd have to trade it in, give it away or something, we'll see. But they had this at Target, and this was $40, which is, you know, kind of expensive, although it is a 2-disc set. I will show you the vinyl real quick, because the vinyl's actually really pretty. You know, colored vinyl, I could take it or leave it, but I did think this was quite nice. This red vinyl with the black splatter. I do think that looks very cool. I haven't played this yet, so I couldn't tell you how it sounds, but yeah, I expect it'll sound okay. Alright, now, because it was buy two get one free on all anything music related or books or movies, you got the cheapest item free. So in effect, I got one of these for free, which was nice because these were cheaper than the Aerosmith vinyl. So we're going to open these. I'm going to have a listen. I don't think I can really play any music from them, just because you know, copyright, don't want the video to get taken down. But I will give these a listen and come back a little later to tell you what I think. Now, we'll start off with this Red album. We're gonna open it in a second, but and you'll see these are made in Germany, so these have come from the EU. And this has 12 extra tracks on it, including many new mixes. And I think one of the big reasons to get this new expanded Red album is because it does contain quite a few tracks from Rubber Soul in particular on here. And I know I think we were kind of hoping for a Rubber Soul box set this year. That's obviously not happening. Maybe next year, we'll see. But it's interesting that they already have the mixes for quite a few of them. Maybe they've even done the entire album by now. It wouldn't surprise me. So yeah, we've got what's been added. If I Needed Someone's on here. Girl is on here, which I think Girl's on the original one, right? Let me consult this. I don't remember. Girl, I think it is. Yeah, Girl is on the original release. And In My Life and Nowhere Man were on the original as well. But If I Needed Someone has been newly added to this. Norwegian Wood's on here too. That was also on the original. So was Drive My Car. But the fact is that they've remixed a whole bunch of the Rubber Soul songs just for this. And I think it's using that same demixing technology that they've used for Now and Then, and that they used for the Revolver reissue last year. So yeah, I'm very excited to listen to this. I understand that it's maybe, I don't know, a little hit or miss just from some of the reviews that I've seen, but we're gonna give it a try. And then the Blue album, this has nine new tracks on it. It does include Now and Then, which as you saw in my last video, I already bought the 12-inch single of that, so I don't need that song. But I do want to talk about a couple of things though, which I think may be missed opportunities with these. Firstly, I would have liked for them to have remixed Free as a Bird and Real Love and put them on, I guess, the Blue Album, but it maybe could have gone on either. And they didn't do that. I don't know if that means they're going to reissue the anthology albums at some point in the future. I mean, some of those recordings are so poor that how much, even with this new demixing technology, how much you can do with them, I don't know. And whether you should do something with them is another question as well, because Free as a Bird and Real Love, I get. Those are from the mid-90s. I would think those would be pretty easy to do, right? All you've got to do is use the demixing technology on the original tape or the copy of the tape, you know, that had Lennon's demo on it. So, and then you could even leave the rest of the vocals, instrumentation. You could leave everything else pretty much the same. But I don't know whether they're going to do that or not. I just think that was a missed opportunity. But of course, they want to bang these out in time for Christmas. I get it, but yeah. And then secondly, the track choices on here mostly are great. There are a couple of omissions, particularly, well, actually no, on both of these there's a couple of omissions, which I think maybe should have been on there, even if it was in place of something else. So off of the Red album, and I've heard other people comment on this too, and Rain is not on here. The B-side to Paperback Rider, I think there's a good argument that a remix of that should have been included on here. It's a great song, yeah. Then off the Blue album, for me, the glaring omission is Helter Skelter. I mean, it wasn't on the original, of course. And if you were to include it, do you take something out? I don't know. I mean, Old Brown Shoe is probably the worst song on here, but it was on the original, so you've got to keep it. But yeah, no Helter Skelter, which to me, like I say, is the big glaring omission on there. But other than that, I mean, they've added, well, on here they've added, let's see, Roll Over Beethoven, Twist and Shout is on here, which I don't think was not on the original. They mentioned the tracks from Rubber Soul. Tomorrow Never Knows is on here. And they've used a variety of mixes too. They've used some new 2023 mixes. Some they've used the mixes that were done for the various box sets over the last few years, from, you know, Revolver, Let It Be, etc. And then others they've used 2015 mixes, which were done for a reissue of the One album, which I do have. It's in back here in this far crate, and I do have the 2015 issue as well, which sounds great. So we've got a real mishmash here of mixes, but they're all fairly modern, so that's good. So let's open them. Let's start with this. I got a knife, because I already started shooting this video once, and I tried to open these with my fingers, and I couldn't do it. So this is my second attempt. Once I've cut into this, there's no reshooting. It's done, right? Let's see if I can just open this without destroying something. Unfortunately, because these are I really dislike these CD cases, but it's all the rage now. These flimsy cardboard cases. Unfortunately, I have to take the shrink off to get in here. There's no way around it, because you've got to unfold this thing to get the CDs out. So it is what it is. But let's have a look. We'll take the shrink off. And I don't buy many Beatles CDs, although I do have quite a number of them. But again, just the price. What are you going to do? It would have been nice to have the vinyl. But all right, here we go. Let's open these up. Here we go. We got the red. Oh no, it's nice. Okay, I can sort of see why they've done it for these albums, because this is how the original albums on vinyl. You would open up the gatefold and you could see the big. That was from the Mad Day Out, right? You can see the big shot in the middle there. The two discs are over on this side, and then we've got a booklet here, which we'll take a quick look at. We take that out. Very nice. It's nice and glossy. Okay, it feels, you know, feels like decent quality. It doesn't feel too cheap. And track listing. It's got a nice photo here and some information. And that information continues, so I'll give that a read later. I'm not going to read it out right now. Okay, some nice photos in here. It's a very early one from '63. Another early another early one. And yeah, there's quite a lot of pages information actually, so that's cool. And then we've got the lyrics. On the vinyl, of course, the lyrics were printed on the original red and blue inner sleeves. Okay, yeah, that's most of the rest of it. Then I'll show you the back. There's another nice photo. That's the last page. And yeah. And then the discs themselves, we'll get one of these out so we can have a quick look at what the disc itself looks like. Yeah, okay. Pretty cool. Fairly similar to the originals on CD. Yeah, very nice. Made in the EU. Okay, let's open up the blue one. And again, it's a shame that I got to destroy the shrink to do this and the hype sticker, but well, I guess I could keep the hype sticker if I really wanted, but that's okay. If it was the vinyl, provided it was just kind of a regular gatefold, which I assume it is, I would try to keep the shrink on it, but just trying to get the shrink off without cutting the cardboard. There we go. Alright, here we go. There's the blue. Again, it is nice and glossy actually. It's not as cheap feeling as I feared it was gonna be. We open this up. Same layout. We've got the discs over on this one side. We've got a booklet over here. The discs look the same as the red, only they're blue, obviously. And let's have a look at the booklet. Here's the booklet again. It's very nice and glossy. Feels nicely made. Track listing. Picture. I think I've seen that photo before somewhere. With information very similar to the Red album. Yeah. And then yeah. And then we get into, it's a nice nice middle 2 pages here. And then we get into the lyrics. And then the very last page, kind of cool. There we go. Yeah. All right, so I will go away. I'm going to give both of these a listen, and then I will be back in an hour or two, I guess. So no, you don't have to wait an hour or two. Stay tuned. We're going to be right back once I've listened to them. All right, you still with me? Okay. So let's go over the good and the bad. Well, there's nothing. Okay, there's nothing bad. There's nothing terrible. There were a few disappointments, but there are also some real highlights as well. Let's start off with the Red album, 62 to 66. So I mentioned this on my the last video I did about the Now and Then single, which had the new remix of Love Me Do as the B-side. That I was a little disappointed in that. Didn't do much for me. Same thing with the CD. The first few tracks, Please Please Me, I saw us standing there. It was sort of take it or leave it. Honestly, with Love Me Do, they didn't sound bad. I just didn't think they were huge improvements over the original mixes. But there are definitely some highlights. The same thing with She Loves You, which I think is probably a song that a lot of people were looking forward to, because there's a whole backstory behind that. Anyone who's relating to the Beatles probably is familiar with that backstory about how the original tapes were lost, etc. She Loves You again as well. Take it or leave it. I wasn't blown away by what they've done with that. But there are some highlights. This Boy sounded very good. Can't Buy Me Love sounded very good as well. And so did And I Love Her. That sounded really nice actually. And Yesterday. A very nice separation with those. And those are very simple songs in a way in terms of arrangement and minimalistic in terms of the instruments that we use, and I think that works very well with the mixes they've done. We Can Work It Out on disc 2. It sounds spectacular. I thought that sounded great. I'm very happy with that. In fact, all of the Rubber Soul mixes sounded really good. Probably the best, Michelle was pretty good. maybe Girl, Michelle or Girl. They both sounded terrific on here. And the rest of the songs after that are from Revolver. Those all sound great. I did review the Revolver box set last year, so I've already heard those versions of them, but they sound just as good. Actually, speaking of the different versions that I use, interestingly, as far as I can see, there's no listing actually on the discs or on the back or in the booklets about which mixes were used. That information is freely available online. I think it might even be on the Beatles website, but it doesn't. You don't get something that says 2015 mix, 2020 mix, etc. Which I don't know. I think that would have been good information for them to at least put in the booklet, but they didn't. So for the Blue Album doesn't have as many remixes. It has several, but not that many. And the reason is that most of the songs in here were already remixed in the last few years for the different box sets, so they've stuck with that. The tracks from the White Album, from Let It Be, those and Abbey Road, those were remixed in the last few years, so they haven't gone back and tried to reinvent the wheel with those. They've used the same mixes, so they all sound good. I have those on vinyl already, so I was already familiar with them, but yeah, they sound good. Hey Bulldog though, it does sound nice on here. That's a new remix because Yellow Submarine has not yet been remixed and reissued on vinyl. So that did sound good. I thought the Fall on the Hill sounded great. That was a very nice. In fact, all the songs from Magical Mystery Tour on here sounded good. Hello Goodbye was just okay, but the Fall on the Hill sounded really good. Now, a little bit of controversy. I Am the Walrus, because this took me by surprise. I had heard something about this, but they messed with the ending. Now, of course, I'm the Walrus has a long history in terms of why half of the song was originally in stereo, half was in mono, unless you had the mono version, of course. If you had the stereo version, well, the first half was in stereo, the second half was mono that was made into this, fake duophonic stereo, which sounded crappy. And that was all to do with the radio broadcast that had been added at the end, the Shakespeare radio broadcast, and the fact that had been added. I think it was added directly to the mono tape or something like that. In any event, so when it came time to mix that song for stereo, they had a real problem because they couldn't separate that out. So in any event, it was remixed for the Love album, right? I think a number of years ago they did get that separated out nicely for the I Am the Walrus segment on the Love album. And it's remixed here, and it sounds good. The actual track sounds great. It's just the end of it where they've added these new sounds and things that. I mean, I heard somebody say that maybe they actually weren't added. They were kind of present in the original, but you just couldn't really hear them. And with this demixing technology, now you can. I'm not completely sold on that idea because there's stuff in there that doesn't sound anything like what's in the original. It's just the end of it. Just the end with the radio broadcast. I don't like it, honestly. I don't like messing with the originals. Remix it, fine, but you want to. The actual content shouldn't really be changing. The way the content sounds, sure, but it seems to me that they've maybe messed with what's actually in there, which not too crazy about. I think most other things weren't remixed on here. Very little. Now and Then is on here, of course, but most of the other songs were already on. Oh, Blackbird sounds very nice. Blackbird was not on the original Blue album. Yeah, no, it wasn't. So that's on here. Very nice addition. Again, some songs that maybe should have been included on here. I think the big omission is Helter Skelter, which is quite an important song. It's an important song. I know that there are some negative cultural aspects, the whole Manson thing, but it's an important song as far as music history is concerned. A lot of people regard it as the first kind of heavy metal song, which I sort of agree with and don't, but I can see where people are coming from. And I think it's just an important song in music history in general, and the fact that it's not on here, to me, is a bit of a miss. I would have tried to find a way to shoehorn that in. It is quite a long-ish song. I don't know if they would have had to have taken something out. I didn't actually check the disc run times on these. I should have done. But what else is new on here? Magical Mystery Tour. The title track sounds good. It wasn't blown away, but it does sound good. And trying to see if there's anything else. Oh, Within You, Without You. I don't think that was on the original. That sounds good too. Glass Onion, which I think is an underrated song. I'm glad that that's on here from the White Album, but it's not a new mix. It was from the remixed White Album from a few years ago. So I guess there we go. Oh, and I Want You She's So Heavy's on here too, from Abbey Road. That was not on the original Blue Album. It's on here. Again, not a new mix. It's from the Abbey Road remix from a few years ago. But it's a good inclusion. And I Me Mine as well is on here too. I think, honestly, yeah, if you were going to get rid of a song, well, if you were going to get rid of any song to include Helter Skelter, I would have taken out Old Brown Shoe. But Old Brown Shoe was on the original Blue Album, so you can't really mess with it. Okay. I think I would have taken out I Me Mine and put in Helter Skelter. Not that I Me Mine isn't a good song. I actually think it's a little underrated. But it's not Helter Skelter, you know. Anyways, very pleased to get these. Like I said, some ups and downs. I think I don't have the vinyl, so I can't really tell people they shouldn't get the vinyl. You know, that's not my place anyway. But it's not like I can not recommend the vinyl. The vinyl might sound great. Just the price, $70 a piece. I just... I mean, us Beatles fans now are kind of used to getting gouged on an annual basis for some new remix or some new box set or this, that, and the other, or 8 different versions of Now and Then. And okay, that's the way it is now. I think though, if the CDs sound great, if we can kind of put aside a little bit of the vinyl snobbery, which I know goes on, I'm guilty of it myself sometimes, then maybe the CD's the better deal. Just in my opinion, because it's not like it sounds worse than the vinyl. It's it's different, and it's not like the vinyl is all analog. No, it's gone through some digital stuff. Of course it has. Anything that's had this demixing stuff done, all of these remixes, they've all gone through digital mixing. So it's not like if you get the vinyl, it's because, well, I've got to get the analog sound. Well, you're still listening to digital in there, but I get it. The vinyl looks nice, especially the color ones, the red and the blue. And I do admit that had the vinyl been cheaper, I probably would have gone with that instead of the CDs. But I just couldn't justify the vinyl being more than double the price. In fact, like 2.5 times the price. So there we go. Maybe at some point I'll pick up the vinyl. Maybe not. We'll see. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. That's my review of these 2023 Red and Blue albums. And always appreciate everybody who subscribes and leaves a comment. And until next time, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.